The Walt Disney Company is one of the world's largest media companies. Former Disney CEO Robert Iger has recently announced that he would be stepping down from his position. The responsibility is now left in Robert Chapek's hands to continue Disney's success and create more magic within the company. The strengths and weaknesses of Disney's overall operational strategies will provide a roadmap of the areas Chapek can capitalize on during his time as CEO. From the positive findings in our evaluation, we can conclude that the Walt Disney Company can attribute their success to the strengths within the operational strategy. The 4 strengths we evaluated are as follows: previous leadership strategy success, constant creativity and innovation, acquisition pursuance, and the ability to produce a diverse variety of products and services. The weaknesses in our evaluation were outweighed by the strengths, and they are to serve as areas for improvement for Chapek. If Bob Chapek wants to create more magic at Disney and continue the brand's legacy, he must continue implementation of the strategies used by prior CEOs and follow our recommendations based on the evaluation. The first strength we found in our evaluation was previous leadership strategy success. Walt Disney, Michael Eisner, and Robert Iger were all able to provide a strong vision and pathway for Disney. Their leadership enabled Disney to grow into the massive company it is today. Walt Disney produced the strategic vision that enables Disney to sustain competitive advantage and growth up to this day. His strategy revolved around creating synergies, leveraging different business segments around intellectual property or creative talent. Michael Eisner led with the continuation of Walt Disney's emphasis on creativity, branding, and synergies. He placed emphasis on animation technology systems, which led to more efficient film production and several successful movies. Eisner also led Disney to acquire Cap Cities ABC, which made Disney the biggest media entertainment company in the U.S. and provided worldwide distribution outlets. Robert Iger formed 3 pillars that reflected Walt Disney's original intent. The strategy as follows: invest in creative content, technology innovation, and international expansion. Most importantly, Iger created a corporate strategy to pursue and build billion-dollar franchises. The strategy included making a number of high-profile acquisitions in order to build the franchises. Iger's strategy resulted in steady growth for Disney's profit and increased stock price appreciation. The second strength from our evaluation was creativity and innovation. Iger increased creativity during a time of poor performance among Disney's new releases. During Iger's leadership, the company was aiming to produce 10 box office hits each year. This methodology permitted for more time and creativity and enabled stronger dedication to the films being produced. Iger led Disney in the creative direction by designing and creating franchises around newly acquired hit movies from Pixar and by acquiring Marvel Entertainment, which added superheroes to Disney's creative lineup. Iger was also responsible for the technology innovation emphasis at Disney. He invited tech geniuses to join the board, and by 2016, Iger provided Disney with the opportunity to build an in-house streaming service. This brought Disney to the next level as it became a vertically integrated media company. The increased creativity and innovation at the Walt Disney Company has resulted in financial success from franchises, box office hits, and streaming services.
Throughout the history of the Disney Company, a successful business strategy has been the pursuance of acquisitions. The acquisitions of established companies has led to financial success, less competition, and the ability to reach more audiences. The acquisition of companies such as Pixar, Marvel, and 21st Century Fox have revitalized the brand and led to financial gain. For example, Disney acquired Marvel. They then released the movie Avengers Endgame, which is the second highest grossing movie of all time, and helped Disney to have the highest grossing year in Hollywood history. Disney is significantly more financially successful than competing film studios, which can be partially attributed to thriving acquisitions that are a great strength of the company. Another key strength found during our analysis of the Disney Company is the ability to produce a variety of diverse products and services. Disney focuses on 4 main business segments, including media networks, parks and resorts, studio entertainment, and consumer products and interactive media. Each business segment generates billions of dollars a year, which results in high revenue and strengthens the company's competitive edge. Also, franchises can be established across multiple segments. For example, when Disney releases a movie and then creates related merchandise, theme parks, soundtracks, and video games. A variety of products and services has resulted in Disney being successful at adapting to societal changes and being an established household name. The diversification of business allowed Disney to expand from a single multimedia and entertainment provider to the current multinational conglomerate it is today.
Our first weakness that we gathered from our evaluation was Disney's lack of multi-regional revenue. Overall, the Walt Disney Company is very much involved in multiple regions. Disney International has over 13,500 employees and are operating in 45 countries throughout the world. These 6 regions include Asia, Australia, New Zealand, Europe, India, Latin America, and Russia, yet Disney remains dependent on North America for most of its revenues. So why is Disney so heavily reliant on just one of the 6 continents they conduct business in? It comes down to the cultural differences and barriers that limit profitability. Ever since Robert Iger opened Disneyland in Paris in 1992, the park struggled. The struggling performance was due to resistance by the French to what they felt was American cultural imperialism. Our second weakness that we gathered from our evaluation was Disney's vulnerability to their competitors and their inability to quickly adopt a streaming service. The company faces an issue at hand with nearly half of their profits coming from its TV networks, ABC and ESPN, and the media industry is being disrupted. In recent years, most consumers would prefer to stream content through services like YouTube, Netflix, Apple TV, Sling TV, and more. While seeing their competitors like YouTube, Netflix, and Amazon take off with their streaming service, Disney implemented its own streaming services called Disney Plus and ESPN Plus. Yet, Disney was a little late to the party in terms of their ability to quickly adopt streaming service. Streaming services like Netflix and Amazon Prime Video were released almost a decade before Disney's released their streaming service, which was far overdue on Disney's end. Furthermore, even with Disney releasing their 2 streaming platforms, there does not seem to be a large margin for success, where companies like Apple, Netflix, Comcast, AT&T, and Amazon have very similar streaming services to Disney. They are all chasing after the same consumer. With so many streaming services already being subscribed to, and Disney launching their new services this past year, it all boils down to how many streaming services will the average consumer subscribe to.
Our third weakness is corporate wage gaps. Iger is one of the highest paid CEOs in corporate America, earning over 1,000 times the median salary of Disney employees, underlining the extreme wage gaps between average employees and corporate employees. Iger was also accused of delaying his retirement 5 times in the efforts of leveraging his corporate salary. Some studies show that roughly 85% of Disney employees earn less than $12 an hour and are living under the poverty line. This is contradictory to the Disney idea that this is the happiest place on earth.
There are not any major contingencies or threats due to the fact that the Walt Disney Company has been successful for so long and consistently beats out its competitors. It is important, though, to be aware of the potential external threats that they may face. First, Bob Chapek is being thrown into a higher role where he has to adapt quickly while lacking Iger's charisma and creative insight. His no-nonsense attitude may make for an unhappy workplace, contradictory to what Disney is all about. It may be hard for Chapek to live up to prior CEOs' reputations. Second, during the recent outbreak of COVID-19, Disney lost nearly $5 billion while theme parks were closed. If a future outbreak occurs like the experts predict, it could hurt Disney extremely. Third, streaming competition will always be present. International mass media and entertainment industries face new challenges every day to beat out its competitor. It is a possibility that Disney Plus can lose subscribers if they do not stay up to date with other services and implement new features as quickly. As for technology and digital content, there's a threat of disruption of Disney's features that can reduce the company's profits. Digital content piracy can also have the ability to reduce the company's potential revenues in markets with weak legal protections. Moving forward, Bob Chapek should adopt and implement the following recommendations while also taking the threats into consideration. Doing this will help make sure Disney remains a successful company. If the short and long-term action plans are followed correctly, it will help increase multi-regional revenue, beat out other streaming services, and close corporate wage gaps. For short-term, which would be implemented immediately throughout the next year, we believe Bob Chapek should practice and adopt the strategies and leadership skills that Robert Iger brought to Disney. Second, start brainstorming another strategic unit of business that Disney could implement into their company and brand. Third, come up with an effective and safe way to continue running Disney's theme parks in case of a new outbreak of COVID-19. Fourth, make Disney Plus an interactive part of Disney theme parks for subscribers only. Fifth, Disney Plus should offer a student subscription similar to other streaming services. Sixth, conduct more in-depth market research to avoid failing in different regions before expanding into them. And last, Chapek should also meet with an on-site psychologist to analyze his mental health or a counselor whom he can speak to about his quick change in positions.
So now we have our action plan that should be long-term within the next 5 to 10 years. First, we think that Disney should look to conduct extensive competitive research. Here, Disney should look to form partnerships in the efforts of taming corporate growth in order of building brand awareness globally. Next, they should look to implement fair and sustainable wages for all employees. In the past, they've gotten a lot of backlash, but Disney can use this to increase staff members' salaries in order that every employee can provide for themselves, their families, and their loved ones. Also, they should look to instill a positive and creative work environment for all employees at every level. This is a way that Iger brought to the table when he was in charge as a hand-off leadership approach instead of a micromanaging approach. This helped instill trust as well as optimizing corporate results. Finally, we believe that Disney should look to slow down their expansion in the efforts of dominating markets that they already own. Many people do not realize how many different companies Disney actually owns. In order for Disney to continue expanding and creating an even more prominent name for themselves, they need to create a better tie between their identity and their assets. In conclusion, after our evaluation of the Walt Disney Company's strengths and weaknesses, Bob Chapek should follow the recommendations we provide in order to keep Disney one of, if not the most recognizable, successful, and magical companies in the world.